All right, this is part 2 and answering Edwin's question from Instagram, how to prep getting out of fermata. It's very similar to just how to prep in general. So let me talk about that. So beat 4 prep into beat 1 would look like this. Ta, right? So it's important to not jerk down so hard, to just kind of, because if I just go like that, they're gonna come in. So we need to go up without jerking motion, as opposed to 4-1. So I just go 4-1 or ta, ta. So no one's gonna come in on the right? But if I go, then they're gonna come in there. So 4-1. Now, if it's on beat 2, I think about, for all the other beats, I think about focal point conducting like this, where everything's kind of a U shape. So 1, 2. So ta. So there's a downward motion on this beat 2, a little click, a little jagged acceleration. Ta. For beat 3, same thing. I'm gonna use that U shape. I'm gonna breathe here, no jagged motion, but bam on the beat 3. So ta. If I go ta, see that they're gonna come in on beat 2. So ta. That's for beat 3. If I need to cue for beat 4, ta. And we already did 4 and 1. Ta. So imagine we have the fermata, da, full cutoff, ta, ta, or ta, ta, like that. That would be for 1, 2, or ta, ta, 2, 3, and ta, ta. So that's 3, 4. So that's the different ways that I would prep and breathe to get out of the fermata.